Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are about to have the women's final here for Division 2. We're about to crown a champion, so we go to the flip. We've got Sarah Lee and Miriam Downey. Come on in, join us here. Girls, let's have the toss.
Sure. All right, ready? Cool. Heels. Ooh. We'll take defense. All right. We'll take the same zone. Sounds good.
Sarah, just a quick word before you start. If you could sum up the culture of Zig Theory, what would it be in one word?
Oh, the culture. We love to fight, I think. Yeah, we're a team that love to fight and play hard and play strong. So,
okay, Thank you for your time. Good luck for the final, Miriam. Come on in. This is the fourth time on the stream. You're an old hand at this now.
Yeah, we love the live stream.
So, the final, how do you beat Zig Theory, who have looked dominant all weekend?
Well, we're also undefeated, so we're keen to have this match, and how we're going to beat them is just keep going with our team values, which are confidence, community and 100% effort.
Okay, there you go. You hear it here. Thank you, Miriam. Good luck for the game. We'll come back very, very shortly with your commentators for this match.
What is spirit of the game?
It's knowing the rules and when they apply.
It's avoiding body contact wherever possible.
It's keeping a positive attitude and enjoying the sport.
It's being fair-minded even when the game is on the line.
It's communicating respectfully with your opponent.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the grand final of the Australian National Championships Division 2 here in Nelson Bay. I am Millicent Crowe and I'm joined here by Andrew Moroney. Hello, Andrew.
Hi, Millie. Great to be here. This is the obviously the point end of the tournament, the final, the two best teams, two undefeated teams. So we should be in for a real treat.
I'm excited to see these two teams play each other. Zig Theory, of course, the silver medalist from last year's Division 2 National Championships in Canberra, and Underground, the bronze medalist. So both teams coming back to the finals, have been here before, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they come out.
Yeah, as we have a look at Zig Theory's lineup, strength across the board, perhaps some standouts, Anna Rosler and Michaela Dunmore. Michaela Dunmore, number 12, exceptional athlete, representative, Australian level representative. Anyone else that stands out to you?
And of course, Alice C, number 51. She's in the Currents Croc squad, heading over to US a bit later in the year.
Yeah, I think an incredibly strong squad across the board. Probably explains why they are undefeated.
They do. Very heavy, top-end talent on Zig Theory.
Fantastic. And we'll take a look at the Underground roster shortly as well.
Zig Theory have a couple of rookies in amongst their teams. Of course, they're hailing from Adelaide. They're the second Adelaide team, but Underground coming from Canberra. Yeah,
Underground, we obviously got to see them just previously on the live stream. Some real standouts. Belinda Wilson played really well. Grace Spratt has been fantastic. And Matilda Needle seems to be a bit of a disc magnet, regardless of whether she's on offense or defense. So, yeah, I think it probably stands to reason as to why these teams are undefeated coming into the game. I would also say, though, and it sounds probably strange to say this, given they're yet to be defeated, there does feel like a bit of a David and Goliath kind of battle here. I think you'd probably look at Underground as the underdogs. Zig Theory, quite a dominant team. So, I think if Underground can stay with Zig Theory in the first few points, that's going to be huge for them and could set a huge upset brewing.
Absolutely. And, I think that there's a lot of young talent coming in and self-belief. This is the second year Underground have been as a club, and they are one of 3 Canberra teams, so their talent is a bit more split amongst the different teams, as opposed to Zig Theory being the top Adelaide team for women's ultimate.
Yeah, and you know, not to be complacent. You know, you're here to win. You want to win the final, and they've given themselves every chance to do that, Canberra Underground. But they've already improved on last year's result, you know, so it was bronze last year. Today, in 90 minutes or 80 minutes time, we'll work out what colour medal, whether it's silver or gold this year round. But, you know, 2 outings to Division 2 Nationals, 2 medals. That's pretty good. I think most teams would take that. I certainly would have.
Yeah, probably one of the most successful clubs right now in Australian Ultimate with the, you know, if you judge it by medal colour. And of course, Underground, you would have heard Miriam talking about their sort of team motto, which is confidence, community and 100% effort. So I'm sure we'll see that today. Yeah,
I was waiting for the third C. I thought confidence, community, okay, what's the third C going to be? But obviously couldn't find one without trying to wedge it in there, but that's good. 100% isn't bad either.
So we've got Zig Theory coming out on defence.
Zig Theory in white, left screen. See the first pull go up. And it might just come back in. It will. So first pull's going to land inbounds, and it'll be Underground to get things underway with the offence. And the first throw goes up. It's sat up a little bit high, and Zig Theory through Rosie Foley will have a chance to strike straight away. Michaela Dunmore over to Anna Rosler. Dunmore, Rosler. And then Dunmore, Rosler. So a big pump up from Michaela Dunmore after she threw the goal. She was happy. She was up and about. Her and Rosler just managed to work it between them. Underground probably not expecting to turn their primary offence over. So had a little bit of a struggle to adjust and pick players up.
You saw that 1-2 on the sideline there. There was no defender inside. So, you know, it was very patient play by the 2 Zig Theory players there to get that up and then the Underground came with a little bit of defensive pressure, but just not quite enough for Michaela Dunmore's backhand. Of course, a left-handed backhand, so it always adds a little bit of complication, as most players are right-hand. And
yeah, lefties will do that. They're annoying that way. But anyway, we have to live with them.
Well, they seem to be a higher proportion of elite athletes.
They do, don't they?
Oh no!
I think their level of genius as well is that they're more creative and just more special.
Oh, what-handed are you there, Andrew?
I might be a lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe some nerves, first point, but
we did see this with the previous game when Underground played Hills. Hills went off to a good start, and I think it was 2-0 to Underground. So pull there by Rosler.
All right, take 2 for Underground. This time, first pass does connect. Looks the inside break. That's an excellent inside break to Belinda Wilson. Wilson advances it up. That's Loiterton. Had a great game in the semi, Loiterton. Count gets high here, manages to get it back to Miriam Downey with some real tension, and Miriam now puts a flick long. 2 players closing in, a nice bid. It was Matilda Needle, who'd been in everything but just couldn't get to it. Needle also having an excellent semi-final. And Zig Theory with the disc now. They'll look to work it up. Nice and patient. Give go note on it instead. The inside break goes. Nice wide grab. Got the hands under it. Penny Fong. Up the line goes, and that's attacked really hard and aggressively by Chin, who puts one deep. And now Zig Theory looking for a 2-zip start. They've got one. And lots of enjoyment. People absolutely up and about. Tran with the goal.
Anna Rosler with the assist there, who is heading over to Limerick in July with the Pie Wagon Mixed Masters.
So your teammate?
She is my teammate, yes, Andrew.
Awesome bid from Needle. Just too far out in front.
I've come to expect that Needle just is willing to
Yep.
to get vertical, will put her body on the line and reach out for those discs. Such a valuable asset, just makes your catching arena so much bigger.
Yeah. And so I think the message for Underground, you want to maintain positivity. It's not damage control yet. I would also encourage there to be a couple of adjustments made, particularly around their transition defence. So what we've seen is Zig Theory, both those goals were probably, there was a lot of flow. You weren't really getting high counts or anything like that.
Yeah.
So if the simple message to Underground can be, if we turn it, that's life. Let's just really focus on stopping the flow, because once Zig Theory get going, it's really hard to reel them in. So Underground again from this side. It'll be Blackburn moves it up. 2 dumps go up the line, so it is quite busy, and this one sits up a little bit. There's a pack grab. And Loyderton, as she's so often done this tournament, but now throws it high to Dunmore, who's pretty handy in the air herself. Lee moves it up on the far sideline. Dunmore engaged as the dump, gets the easy dump back. And then a huge looping outside in backhand. Asked a lot of Ivy Tran. And Michaela, the hand signals there, I think suggesting a bracket where 2 defenders will probably work together. If it's almost like 2 defenders marking 2 offenders. One will take the offender that runs towards the disc, the other that will take the defender that runs away from the disc. So clever play already from Zig Theory, demonstrating why they are, probably the dominant team here. And a D.
Sarah Lee there for the block with the disc now. Zig Theory swinging it wide to number 96, Deborah Lee, in the end zone.
Yeah, and it was Grace Andrews with really nice flow. Got the kind of swing like a lateral throw or a dump. Out, took one look as we look at the D. Really great positioning. Made it quite difficult for Underground.
Sarah Lee there leading by example. She is the captain of Zig Theory. Showing her teammates, positioning with her body, getting in there for that block and picking up that disc for that nice reset pass. Yeah,
and Deborah Lee, excellent separation, ran around the back of the stack, and her teammates gave her a lot of space. Made it a really nice throw, easy throw to run onto. So Zig Theory continuing to assert their dominance as they have throughout this tournament. Out to a great start, 3-0. Certainly, as we said before, not insurmountable by any stretch, but you do want to see some adjustments maybe from Underground. Try and throw a different offensive look, whether that be maybe an isolation play, changing the way that their stack forms, maybe even mixing up some of their personnel on the field.
We did take away that Underground like to stop those unders and force their opposition to throw those long hucks. And I think that may play into Zig Theory's strength, because one of their trademarks is they've got very good long throws.
So another good rundown from Zig Theory. They're down on the first pass, and Underground already have it hemmed in on their sideline. Excellent grab from Downey. Miriam Downey lets a backhand go, and it almost clipped Jarko a little bit. I don't think she was fully expecting it. Was coming in with a fair bit of heat. And Zig Theory, nice throw up the line. That's to Chin. Gets free up the line. Now another disc with a little bit of air underneath it. And still maintained. It was Deed, I think, by Loyderton, but Scrap's able to be picked up. Chin moves it around. Chin's been great thus far. Really helping cycle the disc. So it was C. Back to LSC. Claudia Cheng with the disc a bit messy upfield. Just will take a second, wait for something to present. Has a nice open dump back. Has to go back a fair way. They retreat a little bit. LSC. Really patient offense. Tran. Hemmed in on that sideline a bit. Throws a nice low throw. That's a beautiful throw to Anna Rosler, the Spirit captain. That's a lovely wide low step out. That makes life a lot easier for yourself as a thrower. You've got that separation. You don't feel the pressure from your mark because you're just further away from them.
You do, and that's one of the benefits of learning to throw those sort of low, wide forehands. You just get so much more separation.
As we see, Melissa Alba managed to take one. Loyderton got the early D, got her hand up there, but stayed down, picked up the scraps. As I think we're going to see the first timeout. So Underground probably wanting to take a minute to talk things over. Not the start they would have wanted, really, but things not above them yet.
If we have a look at the weather conditions as well, it's still beautiful sunshiny day, but it's probably the warmest day. It's quite hot out in the sun, and so it's a bit different to the rest of the competition, especially for your last game of a 3-day tournament.
Yeah, we probably are. What's it close? Probably close to 26, 27 degrees maybe. 25.
25.
Feels a little bit warm.
25 in the shade. So for us here in the shade, it's 25 degrees.
Yeah, 25, not a cloud in the sky.
And a little bit of a gust. But I did notice that the body language of Underground was a little different. As opposed to their previous start, they seem just not as joyful and bouncy. And we're just going to go over to Daniel, see if he's got a bit of insight.
Yeah, Dan Hellick-Smith, coach of Underground, identifying the same thing that you already did over there in the commentary booth, that they need to do a better job switching on to defence. Zig Theory very, very quick on the transition, punching it a long way down the field very, very fast.
Thanks, Daniel.
Yeah, it can be really kind of energy sapping for an offence. Once you turn it, okay, that obviously wasn't the plan. But to then not to be able to exert any kind of pressure on defence, there's no way to get the energy back. You know, even if you have a close bid or a high stall count or you even get the disc back, that's something that can help feed the tank of the team. But basically what they're seeing right now and what the challenge that both ourselves as well as the Underground leadership have pointed out is there's nothing really filling the tank from an energy perspective. They're turning it over, and then within a matter of seconds they get scored on. So if they can just make that little kind of incremental adjustment, as we see Dunmore with the pull, this one might sail out of bounds. It will. It's just incremental adjustments. Just try and change one small thing as a player. Make that commitment to go, okay, I will, make that bid. I'll stay on my play. I'll be more active on the mark. All these little things can start feeding the tank for your team. Blackburn will bring it in from the brick mark. Moves it up. Ruby Blackwell. Over to Cap French. It's a little bit better now. So early, green sprouts from Underground. They've moved it up halfway. They've got the upfield, but that brings them undone. Donaghy with the D. Dunmore was right there too. And once again, Zig Theory look to move it straight away. So this, like we said, the opportunity for Underground to put a little bit of pressure on, but one goes up high to Dunmore. She's not going to drop that. Reels it in, easy as you like. Jumps in. Just as Underground, I thought, was starting to get a count set, some early positive signs. Michaela comes along.
It seems to be that up the line throw for Zig Theory, which is paying dividends. So it's perhaps thinking about if Underground are on defence, positioning themselves to stop that up the line cut to make Zig Theory sort of swing that disc a little bit more and have a few more passes than up that line throws.
Yeah, and back to the point of just easy things to change, because you pointed it out, it's 26, 27 degrees, you're on your 9th game, you're gassed, being able to just have simple instruction, because you try to change too much, you're not going to change anything. So what are the 1, 2, maximum 3 things we want to work on? And I think you're spot on. The up the line dump is giving the Zig Theory thrower free range. They have a shot anywhere they want on the field. So maybe just try. We'll be okay with the behind because it'll make them throw another shot. But the up the line is enabling a shot to the end zone, which has worked well for Zig Theory. They've got a 5-0 lead.
And I think Underground are starting to feel that pressure. Like their turnover came when the disc was thrown to a contested player, although it was Bailey, who has been a very strong receiver for them.
Yep.
They're just being pressured into taking those risky options to advance that disc.
So let's see if Underground can make the adjustment. Miriam Downey moves out. An awesome bid, awesome D.
Needle then just getting with one with the grass again.
Jackie Chong, awesome D. Welcome to the final. Been playing well so far, but that's first genuine highlight that we're going to see today. Hopefully not the last. And Zig Theory. All right, so now Underground. Back to the point of green shoots. They've got the disc back. It's the first time that their offense have got the disc back off a turn. High count, excellent dump mark, and there's going to be a bailout hark to space. Anna Rosler, that was excellent defense on the dump mark, made it really hard.
I was chatting to the Zig Theory team mum, who happened to be my lecturer, and she was saying dump pressure. Zig Theory have done their dump pressure really, really well.
Rosler. They move it across. Really patient offense, and now they have their 6th goal. I want to come back to something. Your first year uni lecturer.
Yes. I didn't realise she was here, and I saw her face, and
I can't remember my first year uni, let alone my first year uni lecturer. I remember what the pub looked like, but probably not much more than that.
She's quite a memorable... my background's in geoscience, and she's responsible for getting a lot of people into geoscience, particularly women. So she's a fantastic lecturer, retired now, and a dedicated team mum to Zig Theory, so a huge asset to them.
Yeah, now in the Ultimate team. What a legend.
Yeah, well, she's been in there for a while, and I didn't play at uni, and I wish she'd told me about Ultimate Frisbee then. But yes, it is useful, particularly for teams that are travelling. There's a lot of like logistics and figuring out which fields you're on, uniforms, accommodation, lunches, foods. There's a lot of logistics that go into these tournaments, particularly 3-day tournaments.
There's a huge amount. It's one of the things that's special about the Ultimate community. There is a real sense of family, people getting involved, even if they're not playing. Coaches, administrators, even commentators and production crew. All right, Underground. See if they can work things out, build some improvement. Spratt starting to move it around. Fong up to Chin. So they've got it at halfway. It's probably the furthest they've moved it. And they won't move it any further than that. French having one bobble out of their hands. And Zig Theory picking up Sarah Lee, one of the captains. Awesome wide backhand step out. Deborah Lee. Grace Andrews with the disc just outside the brick mark. Looks for the dump, engages, throws. Moving all the way around, using the full width of the field, and that then enables them to move their defence out of the way so they can attack towards their end zone. There's an end zone shot on, it's there. Everyone's very happy. We're happy here in the box. Some South Australian natives not fussed about the dominance Zig Theory is showing. In fact, they're loving every minute of it, and so is Zig Theory. Still a lot of energy, a lot of high fives, as you'll see.
Andrew, I've got a wonder here. The score is 7-0, and I know Underground have been using their defensive strategy, stop the unders, force the long shots. But perhaps it's time to change to adapt to Zig Theory's forehand up the line throws.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think we made the comment around, maybe stepping off their defender a bit to make that up the line very hard. As we see some Zig Theory fans bringing their flag, flying the flag quite literally. I wouldn't mind seeing a zone look. And I know they do have really genuine long threats like Michaela. Mm-hmm. But Underground have some great
we've got
tall defenders as well.
Bailey.
Loyderton pulled down everything in the semi, so it might just be worth trying to send something different. Mm-hmm. But obviously, the best way to do that is by starting on defense, and you're not going to start on defense until you score. So that's probably baby steps. Unless you can run a transition, which still, why not? At this point, it sounds a bit strange to say, but the pressure's off right now. It's 7-0. As we see, not able to connect. Belinda Wilson on that first one. And once again, Zig Theory looking, they're not going to let Underground set. So they've already marched it up to their brick mark. Excellent inside flick. That's one of the hardest throws in the game. Opens up then an easy throw. And as quickly as you like, we are 19 minutes into this game and we have half time. And Zig Theory are not giving an inch. There is, whilst it's all played in very good spirit, there's no free points out there. And, Underground wouldn't want that any other way. But Zig Theory are looking to make a statement. And I think in the first half, you'd have to say that they've succeeded.
Yes, absolutely. Very dominant showing. And I think we'll have a little bit of an insight there with one of the players, Michaela Dunmore. Daniel.
Yeah, here with Mickey Dunmore. Right now, it's looking really, really good for Zig Theory. What do you base your success on?
I guess a few things. I think the main thing is we came here with a job. We didn't it's just a throw, run and catch. And I think we're doing that really well. And I think it's just focusing on that. We've had a fair few big games with large margins. And I think the best thing for us to do is just to remember that we're here to play and we're here to do all those little things right, and I think that's what's going on now.
And if the Frisbee gods continue to shine on you and you guys continue your performance like you've shown in the first half, what would it mean to take home a gold medal from Div 2?
I think it would be huge. I've been on this team for a long time and I know that there's a lot of previous Zig players watching, and obviously we've had a few come in and leave and come back, and we've got a lot of new players, different countries, lots of different styles, and I think it would just be huge to see all that hard work pay off and watch this team develop just massively.
Great, thank you very much for your time, Maggie.
Thanks,
we'll go back to Andy and Millie quickly before the break.
Thanks, Dan. Yep, dominant display from a dominant player, dominant set of players. They've certainly had it all their own way, but I do appreciate the simplicity that Mickey brings. Run, catch, throw, I think she said. So sometimes you can overcomplicate it, and we've talked about not giving too many messages, but it doesn't get a lot more simple than that.
No, and, particularly catching, I think that's a very underrated skill, particularly on day 3, last tournament, catching under fatigue. So Zig Theory are doing a fantastic job at throw, running and catching in the end zone where it counts.
We'll take a short break. We'll come back with the second half. We'll see if Underground can respond, mount a massive comeback, or if Zig Theory are going to continue the dominance that they've displayed over the last 2.5 days. Join us for the second half shortly.
Welcome back to the second half of the grand final for the Women's Australian National Championships Division 2 here in Nelson Bay. We have two teams, Zig Theory from Adelaide and Underground from Canberra, with the score 8-0. Andrew, do you want to tell us the story? What's been happening?
Yeah, well, I mean, Underground it's probably worst case scenario really for them, but I was saying earlier, it might actually enable them to play with a little more fearlessness. Like, obviously in the first couple of points, every team, especially teams that are a bit newer, like Underground, there's going to be nerves. Now they've got nothing left to lose, you know, so maybe that freedom might just give them a little bit more confidence as we see a great rundown from Underground on the first point.
And as you said, last half, it's an opportunity for them to set their defence, start off on defence.
Yeah, and you can really you can exert a bit more energy, you know, you can run no nerves out, you know what I mean? Which hopefully they can do here as we see Vanderkraan on the mark. And Rosie Foley getting around. Nice, easy backhand, and the flow's going to come through now. So it's nice to see that they are running a junk, they're running a zone, something different.
Really forcing Zig Theory. This is probably the point with the most amount of passes that we've seen all game. So
spot on, and that's exactly by design. So some of these throws contested, Zig Theory to their credit. Working it up to about halfway now. But I like this zone look. It's holding Zig Theory up a little bit as Dunmore lets go a wide outside in backhand. Really well taken, really well thrown. And another wide backhand. Not in. I think that's a straddle by Tran.
Looks like there's players stopped because there's a bit of a discussion about that.
So moves back. Right at the end zone line and they get the turn. Underground defense brings up a little bit of a miscommunication. But there again, that defensive intensity by Deborah Lee. I think that's a hand block on the mark. Fantastic.
And it just looked a bit like a tired throw there from Graham.
Dunmore out is the ISO. Now in the corner. Looks a big high hammer. 4 players underneath it. Hannah Spratt with the D. So
coming on to this line, Underground, their energy had changed. They're a lot more vocal on the sideline. They were getting their cheers happening. It seems like, as you said, that there's nothing to lose and they're starting to bring that energy that they brought to the other games.
Yeah, play with a bit more freedom. Give it a go, why not? So Spratt gets that first under. Really active mark from Lynn.
Bailey.
Oh, she's so good, Nikki. Great athletic grab. Lauren was going to struggle to keep that in, but Michaela made sure of it. Deborah Lee had a stack of the disc in this first half, Deborah Lee. Now, Underground have had to collapse into a matched defence. Deborah Lee once again on the end zone line. Foley charges up the line, brings the defender in. Manages to grab the goal. So, Zig Theory did what they were supposed to do on offense. They converted, but I'd say there's something to take away from Underground in that point. They got 2 turnovers, and the zone look I kind of liked.
We've got some insight from Daniel over there on the sideline.
Yeah, fun fact for you, Millie. Up till half, there was 2 turnovers by the Zig Theory offense. We're now at 4 turnovers, and that's exceptionally low.
Very interesting, and the turnover rate was doubled in that 1 point, and we saw that Underground came out with that strong defensive pressure.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point by Dan. Those kind of numbers, you know, that's kind of Div 1 level numbers where you're seeing, you know, minimal amount of turnovers a point. So well done to Zig Theory there.
But as a defence, one of the things, you can't necessarily stop the opposition from scoring all the time, but you can make them throw as many passes and make them really work for that offence. And so Zig Theory had to work for that point.
So let's see if Underground can keep it up, try and get on the board here in this Div 2 Nationals final.
We'll have Alice C with the pull from Zig Theory, and their coach, Will Christopherson, looks like he's just marking them across their defence, across players, and telling them who they're going to match up with against Underground.
Poole goes up, rolls under Emma Ferguson a little bit, moves it to Miriam Downey. Back to Ferguson. Dump goes up the line, is honoured. And there's one shot deep, and we're going to see it. Unfortunately, it's not going to land there. It was a good cut, but it was just too deep. And now we see a long cut go from Zig Theory. Instead, they opt to go under. Claudia Cheng. She lets one go. That's nice and flat, but that might just be too far. It is. Tran can't get there. I like seeing the long game come out. I like seeing Underground's long game come out. Obviously, the cut was probably starting too deep to start with, and that throw was a bit challenging, but give it a go.
Well, we saw from previous games that the Downey-Bailey duo from Underground were very dominant with some of their plays, but we haven't seen that. Zig Theory have applied that defensive pressure and sort of cut down some of their key handler receiver combos. Yeah, see,
I think Underground is still too deep there, and that's, as we see, a great contested grab by Jucker. I think a foul call. Has reset. Team's a bit slow to check in on it. Nice grab from Downey. And now she lets another one go. And this one might sail. No, better than the first one. Still a little bit too far out in front of Amit.
Looks like there was a call, but that's been retracted. Yeah, we see it just outside of the reach there.
So Zig Theory this time will have to march it up. Whole 64 metres. Great leading flick throw. It's Melissa Albo taking the grab and move it around. Alice C. Dump goes up the line, is well covered. There's no dump back. One comes now in the form of Anna Rosler, but there is a pick called.
Yeah, we saw some contact at the front of the stack there.
Yeah, and I think that can happen sometimes. That's probably a minor offensive breakdown where two players have realised that there's a gap. They don't have the dump. They both try to do it at the same time, which doesn't help. So Rosler this time gets a little bit on it, but there's an uncontested foul. Oh, there's a foul. They're going to have a discussion about it. Looked pretty wobbly straight out of the hand, so we don't have a great view of it. Might have a better view of it here.
Foul accepted.
Yeah, foul uncontested. After a brief discussion from the players about what happened.
Stall count will come back at 0. And players try to go back to the position that they remember they were in.
Yeah, now the interesting thing here, if you look to your right of screen, there is a deep option. Rose are really patient, electing not to throw it, or at least not throw it yet. Now it'll go. There was a lot of separation from the stack. That's a fantastic throw. It's not going to make the end zone. It's one that deserves to be a goal. Crockett Naney with the disc. Moves it through. And I think that's Rosler with the goal. Cheng to Naney. Sorry, Cheng to Rosler. Fantastic huck. I mean, it was probably open on that first one when the disc was checked back in, but really good patience.
Well, you saw it, Andrew. You saw all the couple of Zig Theories really having quite a buffer from their players and the advantage to run deep. And Alice C for Zig Theory just recognising that and putting her disc golf skills to the test there. Yes,
disc golf, interesting sport. Probably call it not a sister sport, but maybe a strange cousin sport. Some exceptional people around the Ultimate community also play disc golf. They, what we call, traverse to the dark side. Ben Pole, more recently, decided that he'd give up the young man's game and move to the more relaxed disc golf.
A game without opposition or lines, which sometimes can get in the way of a good throw.
Correct, and similar to regular golf, the only opponent is yourself. It's in your head. Sounds pretty boring for me. Probably not one that I'll take up, but hey, whatever floats your boat, as we are watching the second time.
I guess as a left-hander, you don't have the same advantage as you would in Ultimate when everyone's used to playing right-handers.
Yeah. And also, I'm not actually that good a thrower, so that doesn't help either. You don't have much left to do apart from enjoy the more social aspects, shall we say. I'll leave it at that.
Just a quick mention on mindset. I think, obviously Zig Theory have a lot of fitness and skill on their team, but I think they've had some quite dominant wins, not going to the full length of the game. And we're just going to throw over to Daniel for a quick update on that timeout.
Well, I went into the Zig Theory huddle to listen to Will Christopherson, coach of Zig Theory, to talk. Never one to rest on his laurels. He's asking his girls to give more in this final, being up 10-0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. That's it's making a statement. I'm not sure what statement it's making, but it's making a statement of dominance, I guess. But it's also a show of respect to Underground. The last thing Underground would want is a gimme point. If they started taking the mickey and not, pardon the pun, Michaela, if they started not trying or, giving up points, that's not going to make Underground feel any better. It's not going to have them get any better. And I think Underground should still be proud that they're in here, as we see a lot of energy still from Zig Theory and their players. They're going to enjoy every moment of this.
Well, it's also with such a big lead, sometimes easy to relax and switch that focus off, thinking that, become a bit complacent. So to continue and to see out this game for Zig Theory, they really still need to stay focused and throw, run and catch.
It's actually not that much harder than that, is it? Throw, run, catch. All right, so Underground hoping to get on the board in this Nationals final. Nice upfield flick completed, now moved out to Sprout. But Sprout just throws it slightly behind Downey. Downey and Sprout probably a little bit too close together. Not able to have a lot of time, like reflexive action. It's already behind you, done. You don't have another bit at it. And
sometimes with this scoreline, it's you feel like you've got the weight on your shoulders to try and score that first point.
Dunmore. Big loopy wide flick. Beautifully weighted. That's to Lim, Serena Lim, moving it crossfield. They're moving it just laterally as well as upfield, downfield. They've got their 11th. And that's, again, Underground. Try and take something away. It could be a little bit, asking for a little bit more effort on the force, asking a little bit more effort to stop the unders.
What I would like to see from Underground is to put a straight up force on.
Yep.
And use that with their stopping the unders there, so that the throwers make it a little bit more difficult to get a force off. A straight up mark is, of course, when you're got the disc and your defender is standing up straight, as opposed to sort of a forced forehand, which is when you're slightly at an angle, allowing that forehand to come. Just a bit of insight from the far sideline there, Daniel.
Yeah, an update in the third place playoff. It's 5-4 over there at the moment, with Factory up in that game against Hills.
Wonderful. The bronze medal match over there. 5-4 to Hills.
Yeah, I like your point around straight up. I mean, again, it might just be something different, something Zig Theory may not have experienced. Try and change it up, bring fresh energy, bring fresh ideas.
Notice that the energy for Underground hasn't sort of came into this half sort of quite lifted, but they seem to be getting around a bit of their cheers, as you might hear in the background there. So that's good to hear. See if they can get that mindset and that energy back into the game.
Totally, I love it. And I think that's actually a sign of a really strong team culturally. If oh, big D, but it's going to be saved. Nice work from Emma Ferguson, heads up play after the Zig Theory defender did get a hand on it. Landed in her lap really, so nice heads up. Downey, this one goes a little bit too long, it's overshot. Melissa Alba with the deep defence. Moves across, a nice, easy, flat backhands. This is Crockett-Naney, moves out wide. The flow again, lateral flow is awesome. They're getting it both sides. They're breaking the mark with ease. That one sits up a little bit, but well taken by Crockett-Naney. Moves it forward. They're in on their sideline now. Looks at that inside out flick. Should have been a hard throw. Underground able to get a little bit of pressure on now, but that break goes off. And a nice wide one to Alba, just out of her reach. Anna Rosa trying to hit Alba.
That was great defense from Underground there. They really forced quite a few passes, a lot of smaller, shorter passes, and then finally getting that, sort of forcing a throw away in the end zone there. So they've got that chance now.
So again, I think for mine, the Underground stack's probably a little bit too deep, but it does open up the space for a nice grab up the line. Looks to engage the dump for Downey. Doesn't go, really well warned by Zig Theory. Downey eventually gets it and now sees one deep, but again, it's probably because the stack's starting so deep. Double turn. So a little bit scrappy. This is good for Underground.
Wind's just picked up going from the left to the right of your screen.
And this one goes, but the stack probably starting too deep, so Zig Theory are already in that space with their defender by the time that the disc gets there. Crockett-Naney's had a bunch of it at this point, brought her own frisbee to the point. Goes up, hits Cheng. Cheng with a long one. This will sit over the top of the Underground defender, and that's a goal. Anna Rosler, really well weighted. You could see as soon as that was thrown, I was like, we know it's going to... We had a great angle, but...
She's got such a great read on the disc and just so much fitness. She is an athlete that is a phenomenal catcher. You want her underneath the end of your disc. We're just seeing the replay here by Underground getting that block by Zig Theory. And then the throw that was just outside of Zig Theory's reach there.
But I want to go back to what we were talking about with Underground and keeping the energy up. It's very easy to have your energy up when you're winning. When you're copping a bit of a hurting, like probably are right now, you know, as a team, you've got a couple of choices. You can give up, you can turn in on each other, or you can just remind yourself that you're here to have a really good time. And to see the Underground team, high fives, dancing, the choo-choo cheers, whatever it is, you know, that shows that you've got a bit of your culture runs a bit deeper than just wanting to win all the time. And you know, if you're gonna win, you're gonna win together. If you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose together. So it's nice to see them sticking fat.
Absolutely, another fantastic pull from LSC for Zig Theory. Really allowing Zig Theory to get such an advantage from those pulls.
Nice grab under pressure. And Bailey moves it back. Bailey can get it again on the give go. So involved early. Kate Bailey, captain. To Sprout. Sprout, excellent upfield gainer. To Chin. Things get a little bit closed in, but Bailey again getting a lot of disc this point, really making a statement for this point. They've got it up probably as far as they have for the game. Moves it off the line well to Sharkey. Back to Bailey. Bailey will have a shot into the end zone if she wants it. No, good patience. Engages the dump, then goes up the field to Sprout. Sprout right on the end zone line. And they've got their first goal. They're on the board. Lauren Vanderkran catches it just inside the end zone line and they storm the field. They're very happy. And this is what we're talking about, you know. They're probably not going to win this game, but they scored a goal and they are happy about it.
Sometimes you can't control the you can't control the outcome of a game, but you can control your reaction to it. And I think Underground have just performed really well. I was really impressed to see Bailey involving herself in the play. She was looking off a few options. She wanted to have the safe options, and I really think that she was pivotal in that point for Underground.
So I've been watching Will Christopherson as he walked back to the line. I don't know if he's disappointed, but I think he's also probably reminded himself, you're 10-1 up in a final. We're still in a fairly decent spot. So still going to demand a lot of his players, but you'd say on balance, or 12-1 up, sorry, you'd say on balance, they're having a good game.
They are. Opportunity for Underground to put on a defensive look. This will be their second defensive look of the game. So we saw when they came out under half, they had a bit of a renewed fire in their belly with great defensive pressure. So let's see what happens here with Belinda Wilson with the pull.
And the Ultimate community online are getting up and about. I think the comeback is on, is now trending. Hashtags trending. So can Underground just put a little bit more pressure, use that energy that they got out of that first point. Try and get a turn, maybe put in their first break of the game. Count gets high, and again they're looking at this this zone look where players are marking a space rather than an opponent. Throw goes through, that's nicely done. That finds Crockett Naney, who's had an excellent second half. Move to backhand, AUC also had an excellent game. Really long backhand, safe, controlled. That's Cheng. But cuts have dried up a little bit now, so they will move it laterally back. This one with a little more angle on it. Needle was right there, moved out of position, so they can move it now down that wing, because Needle came in from that wing position to try and make a bit on that disc. Recovers now, but there's still some space out on the wing. Thrown out of bounds.
AUC not quite able to reel it in there, but did really well to toe the line there.
Yeah, you'll get a great view of it here. And did well to get her hands to it.
Such a hard skill to figure out, because you're focusing on where your feet are. But catching is one of those hard skills.
Awesome first, the best flow we've seen, and now we're going to see another one. Will there be the first break for Underground in this final? You bet there will! And they are going absolutely bunter.
Bringing that energy, Underground running onto the field, celebrating the success of their teammates. That was beautiful. Belinda Wilson in an acre of space, had the disc, no mark on her, and she has beautiful weighted backhand for one of the Underground receivers running deep. She just waits there. She realizes she just needs the right timing.
Fantastic throw.
And this is an element of the mindset and the confidence. Once you get 1 point on the scoreboard, you know, you start to have a little bit more of that self-belief, that talk in your head saying, well, we've scored one,
done it once.
We can do it again.
Fantastic for the Underground team to get a break against what so far has been a dominant Zig Theory performance. So the comeback is on, continuing to trend, and I think we're going to start seeing what's the choo-choo? Is it the chugga-chugga or choo-choo? There it is. And it'll land in bounds.
Comeback train has a whole new meaning with Underground.
So Zig Theory on them now to just calm things down, get back to what they were doing that made them so dominant in that first half. Deborah Lee looks inside. They've moved it up really well. Grace Andrews with the disc. Holding, looking flick. Instead, back to Deborah Lee. Looks out wide now. Donna Hay. Back to Deborah Lee, who's probably been one of the MVPs today thus far, you'd say. Donna Hay. Kayla Dunmore. Kayla has it in. Looks big backhand, big loopy backhand. This will have a bunch of players underneath it. Oh, and almost one sitting at the back. Deliberately stayed down. It was actually quite clever. Saw half a dozen players going up. Said, right, I'll wait for the scraps, and almost reeled it in.
So close.
Bailey receives the disc from Sprout. Bailey looks off an open option. Sorry, an under option. Instead for Sharky, that was really well done. Sharky wants to put one deep. Instead, gets hand blocked, an excellent hand block. Can it be double happiness? No. Sarah Lee, there might be a call. Yeah, a foul call. Great anticipation from Lee.
Fantastic
Really
hand block
clean.
there, yeah.
Violation going to be called, yeah. Players weren't set.
Of course, you can see the game advisors in green. We've got Steve and Noah for game advising for the grand final.
This time the throw goes up a little flatter, but still the same outcome. Deborah Lee unable to get to the fall of the disc. giving Underground another shot. So, got to say, the second half, much more of a battle than the first. Zig Theory still quite dominant. As you see, Sarah Lee come in, poached off her player, was following her player out, but saw another come in, and Zig Theory might look to work it quick, but to Underground's credit, they've made the adjustment. They're going to try and stop this early flow. Grace Andrews with the disc, and it slips out. And so this time, Underground have it probably further up than their last two turns. So let's see what they can do. Try and capitalise on this field position. They stack a little shorter. I still think it's half a step too deep, but anyway, easy for me to say sitting in this chair. An excellent bid. Unreal. Deborah Lee has been absolutely everywhere this game, and if she was an MVP before, I reckon she's putting a real good case for it now.
Absolutely. There's a phenomenal list of athletes, and she'd be in good company of this game.
So Zig Theory looking for the goal. This one again sits up with a little bit of air. Almost caught at the back, but again we've seen two or three discs just take the air a little bit. And, they're kind of one time as you get one crack at that, you're not going to get a second shot. You've either got to take it high or that disc is dying on you pretty quickly.
So stack still quite deep again, Andrew.
Look. If I could coach, I wouldn't be commentating, so don't listen to too much of it. But again, Zig Theory continuing to exert a lot of pressure.
Again, they've got such great dump pressure and pressure around that disc, which is forcing those turnovers.
And this time it works. Will Christopherson is a little happier this time. They eventually managed to gain their composure, put it in. Michaela Dunmore, in terms of a person to shoot to in the end zone, it's probably as good as it gets.
Fantastic defensive point from Underground there. They extended that point. They really made the offense work for it. They generated a number of turns in that point. So they've really lifted their intensity and in particular their defensive pressure to Zig Theory.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely some silver linings for Underground to take, particularly in this second half.
Just see, beautiful breaks the mark for the goal there. Two teams late in the second half of the grand final for the Australian National Championships. It's the gold medal match. It's Adelaide Zig Theory versus Canberra's Underground. 13-2 to Zig Theory.
Bit of a shorter pull, fatigue starting to set in a little bit. Downey with it, sets another one long, and this one will sail deep. Oh, though, gee, no one told Needle.
Needle will not give up on that disc until it hits the ground. Such a phenomenal athletic attitude to have.
And a good bid, but she's come up a bit sore as well. And this time, another long disc, but this one will sit up, and it'll be Rosler. Has players streaming deep. The crowd wanted to go. Anna saying, no, I'm just going to keep it safe, put it in the right way. And this time, they do it with the shorter throws.
Even having time to check the feet there before the catch.
Look down. Yeah. I wouldn't advise that. I wouldn't want to make a habit of it because you're looking down instead of at the frisbee.
Absolutely.
Catch, but
especially when you get tired, catching becomes a much more difficult skill. Looks like a timeout may have been called. Players seem to be gathering around in the centre of the field.
We'll see if Dan can get an insight from Underground. I'm curious to know whether their coach, Helig Smith, is going to give some kind of inspirational, any given Sunday meets Dead Poets Society inspirational speech to launch the greatest comeback in the history of the game. I'd quite enjoy that.
be great to listen in on that.
Bit of "Oh Captain, my captain" kind of stuff.
Have you heard or given her many an inspirational speech in your playing career, Andrew?
None that have worked. Given a few sprays. That was more for my sake than the team's.
Yes, 14-2. So it's a game to 15. So if Zig Theory score that next point, then they'll win. But, you know, Underground could come back. It's always a possibility.
You've got to score to win. We've said it. We've seen it in the trainer videos. You can't run the clock down. You must score to win. So, Dan, over to you. You heard the message from Underground. What was it?
Well, less Any Given Sunday and more something out of a rom-com. It was all positivity, smiles, the Underground players all getting around Matilda Needle and her efforts.
Yep.
And Dan Hellig-Smith just saying that we've proven how good we are. Enjoy this last couple of points, however many they might be.
I like it. We were talking earlier, you know, the cultural elements of a club is what keeps people coming back. You know, you can build a team through success, but you've got to build a club through culture. I don't know if anyone's ever said that. I mean, I should write that down, actually. That's pretty good. But you know, to have that kind of positivity and hear that, that's awesome. You know, and we said at the start, they should already be very proud of their achievements. They've bettered last year, which was third.
Absolutely. You know, they come away with a guaranteed silver or possibly gold medal. Who knows? But they seem really getting around each other on the sideline. Great run down there by Zig Theory. Grace Andrews.
Nice throw. Held on to it. Downey looks up line. Instead, elects to throw infield. A nice high grab from Sharky. Sharky with it. Looks to wind up on the flick, then the backhand, then back on the flick. Instead, patience to Grace Downey. Grace Downey, great outside throw. That's to Bailey, and unfortunately Bailey's is a turn. So this could be it.
Zig Theory putting a bit more of a force, straight up force on Underground there.
High count, nice pressure from Underground, but well done from Zig Theory to find the flow out to the wide side. Michaela lays out, can't get her hands underneath that one. Underground will have another shot from about halfway. Stack set this time, it's not too deep, so a little bit stagnant. Michaela sitting off the front of that stack, not enough shape on the disc. She was able to stick the Duke out. Now she's stuck one deep. This will be it for the game. Zig Theory are your Division 2 Australian champions.
Grace Andrews there catching that winning shot from Michaela Dunmore.
And well done. Congratulations to Zig Theory. A dominant display. You probably expect to potentially see them in Div 1 next year. But for now, they are the Div 2 national champions. They will be for the next 365 days. And they should be pretty proud with what they brought out.
A fantastic showing. They were relentless. They kept going to the end. They didn't let any of the intensity drop in that game. And they really made sure that Underground felt their presence on the field.
Yeah. And we'll go over to Dan, who has the player who threw the winning goal, Michaela Dunmore.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Michaela, a nice throw there to win the game. That was a really nice inside-out backhand.
Thank you. I've been throwing like backhand breaks and nobody can read them, so I decided I'd stop doing that.
Well, it's worked out. You're a national champion. What's the overwhelming feeling at the moment for you?
I think there's so many. Like, I'm so happy. Like, I'm so happy for the team. I think I've like fallen short of a few medals in other tournaments, and all because it's like something on home turf doesn't mean it's any more or less than something that's, you know, worlds or anything like that. I'm so proud.
Now, before you go, can we zoom in on these socks here? Can you tell me about the Zig Theory socks? Where did these come from?
The team really loves merch, so we've been like kicker on merch for the last couple of years. And I think this year, like, we've got a solid board. They were like, we want good merch. Reached out early, got some track pants, got good socks. Like, we just killer for it. So.
All right, well, you look the part, and now you're a national champion. Congratulations. I'll let you get back to the Spirit Circle. Andy and Millie, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. The merch makes a bit more sense. They've got flags, they've got socks. Nice to see, and it's a decent uniform too. So, look, well done to Zig Theory. I'll also say to Underground, sometimes it's not about how you win, it's about how you lose. And they were smiling, dancing, getting around each other to the end, which I think is a good sign for them. And they've improved one position, bronze last year and silver this year. So congratulations to all of them. Millie, what are your thoughts before we close?
Fantastic effort. It was great to see a huge amount of athleticism from the athletes we saw out on the field there today, and that's just a showcase of everything that's happened over the 3 days. So congratulations to Adelaide Zig Theory, and I think also to Canberra's Underground. Great work. So thank you for tuning in for the Australian National Championships Division 2 Grand Final for the women's division.